Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Will-O-Wisp Woods. Normally, I would say something along the lines of welcome back to the journey of Grandiasha, but tonight we're going to be doing something a little different. As you can see, we're missing Dwindle still, but due to Dwindle's absence and the plot of the story of Grandiasha going the way it is, the rest of the group has decided that they wish to continue forward when Dwindle is back. So, to make sure that you all have something to watch and our players have something to roll for, a new story begins. This will not be a regularly scheduled program, unless of course these players wish to forward this into a different day, like a weekend or something like that. However, tonight begins the story of 3 new characters. And thus begins these short stories that will fill the space in time. You see, in the beginning of the world, the gods of this world began their wonderful bargaining with Ao, the god of the gods, or DM, to draft an existence that allowed them to use the gifts they were given to make things that none had seen before. Planes of existence began to sprout from their time spent creating. And due to this, the world is full of portals that lead to many different places. Grandiasha, the Astral Sea, pocket planes. However, there is one plane of existence that, though beautiful, is well known to be extremely dangerous, overwhelming, and even magical. This plane is an array of colors that span the rainbow, and even colors that one would have never thought existed, with its neon hues and aromantic blends of opposites and likes. This plane of strange but powerful magical existence is known as the Feywilds. And this story begins with 3 adventurers discovering their path through this strange place as they attempt to learn and experience as much as they can about the space around them and what it holds. This gathering of their experiences and their wonderful sights, sounds, and tribulations in this exciting plains truly shows the freedom of the Feywilds. Welcome. Now, who would like to start their introduction first?
Of course, we can't see Kib, so we don't know.
I know. No, that's fine. I have a very, very average-looking halfling woman, dark hair, just 3 foot tall, like average as can be, holding a great sword that looks much too big for her, and wearing a full suit of armor. She looks like she's in like middle age, and yeah, like I said, just very average looking.
My character is a young boy, who is a bit taller than our half elf companion here. Halfling, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And he, has long black hair, and wears a giant, oversized cloak. And he has two mismatched, big old shoes that he wears.
Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
He's very emo. There you go.
Emo boy. You got it. Emo boy. My character is an elf who is average height, about 5'5", so I guess the tallest in the group. She has nice red hair that's kind of messy in the front, but pulled back into a bun and such, and green eyes, fair skin, and she has a half a veil that covers the bottom half of her face. It's not like super thick to where you can't see all of her face, but it's still like trying to cover it. But you can see a little bit of peeking of tattoos that go up over her neck and shoulder onto her face. I'm still working on her clothing, so come up with what you will for now.
Oh, my character's human, by the way. I forgot to say that.
So we have a halfling, a human, and
Wolf.
elf.
Mm-hmm.
Wood elf, high elf, drow.
I had to use the basic, so Eldred.
Eladrin.
Eladrin, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
I can't read.
Which Eladrin? You have spring, summer, fall, and winter.
It didn't give me those options.
If you go into your race, it should allow you to choose which of the 4 seasons if it doesn't already. If I'm not mistaken, because the Eladrin are actually seasonal elves who are from the Feywild. And each of them is affected differently.
My first ever.
I also only have a basic D&D thing, so it might not give me all the options, because I don't have it in the Grandiasha one. Let me see.
You should be able to. I've had a Spring Eladrin character. On D&D
It's not
Beyond.
giving me anything.
Hmm.
No.
No. I'm looking. I promise. I don't even know what I would give her. Yeah, because I'm on the race page for the thing, and it's just showing me dark vision, keen senses, Fey ancestry, trance, ability score, weapon, and Fey stuff. That's it. It does say variant, though. I don't know if that means anything.
That probably is why. I don't see Alira in the Grandiasha campaign.
Yeah, because so I need another link to put her into the Grandiasha.
If you go into Grandiasha and you go to the very bottom, you can create an unassigned character. And that will create a character in the Grandiasha campaign page. Because technically speaking, you already have a character in the Grandiasha page, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I got 2.
So you wouldn't be able to join the campaign because you're already in it. But you can create as many characters through that campaign as you'd like. You go to the campaign page, you go to the very bottom, and there will be a button that says Create Unassigned.
Question.
We understand. Yep.
Answer. Let's
Okay.
see if they match.
How do I'm not a part of the thing because May is not through D&D Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
How would I get put Jack on there?
You, since you actually aren't in the campaign, you are able to just click on the link and join with a character, and you can join with Jack.
Okay. Sounds good. He's not a part of another campaign. What are you talking about?
It's still not showing it. I'm wondering something now.
You would probably have to recreate the character.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's what I'm
that's
doing.
Mhm.
That's what I'm doing is I'm trying to recreate it and see. But we can continue on though while I'm figuring this out.
You're fine.
We're sorry, everybody watching. There's two different types, that's why.
Yep.
That's why I didn't pick the other one. That's why. Okay. So we're gonna change that today.
It's because one is different from the other. If you just look at the elf, you have the choices, or you have the Eladrin Legacy version, and then Eladrin by itself through Mordekine. And if you choose that, that's why. Are you using the Legacy or the new one? Because the new one's probably easier.
Yeah, the one that I had picked was not the legendary. That wasn't the one I originally picked.
Gotcha. Well, you if you use just the Eladrin race that's right there through Mordekaine's, it will allow you to choose your Eladrin season and what that Eladrin season does for you. So, have fun with that.
I shall do so.
Mm-hmm. This will be my first time actually DMing for an Eladrin, so.
I just also gotta move things over now.
It's really just copying it over, which is a lot easier than creating it outright. But, nonetheless, the story of Alira, Kip, and Jack all begins as the three start their journey as any other. Within one of the gorgeous forests of the Feywild, Jack, Alira, and Kip find themselves walking, trying to get between the trees as they view the space around them, the smell of bark and grass blowing through the breeze as the warm air hits their face and causes the branches to sway. However, the branches sway far overhead, as looking up, this forest is actually, much like the rest of the Feywild, very strange. Where normally there would be normal trees where one could easily reach up and grab a branch and begin their climb, this forest is very strange. The base of these trees is 20 feet wide and goes up for miles, it seems. These massive, massive trees loom overhead, but the space between them is massive due to this. allowing for a very peaceful travel. The three can see as vines and shrubbery grow along the bark of the trees that surround them. These massive trees swaying ever so slightly, as the breeze up top seems to possibly be stronger than the one down here. And the already smaller group, height-wise, already normally dwarfed by most trees, now look up and feel like ants. However, the journey of today's experience begins. I would like a D100 from everyone.
$73.
$59.
So we got a 73, a 59, and a 10. Interesting. Feel free to conversate as well. You three are traveling, and speaking of your experiences or your day so far. However, the three of you continuing your journey forward. After having come to this plane through one of the many portals that connects the material to the Fae, you find yourselves caught in the Feywild as the portal that you had used to enter collapsed in on itself. It's well known to many that use the portals to travel, and not so well known to those that have never experienced.
Noticed it.
Yeah. And that caused her to be
Now
a
we're
better
both
person
ruined.
and try to be a better person for him.
Great
Aww,
one.
we got two redemption people, and then ooh.
Oh boy. What do we know about Alira?
Mhm.
Hello, Will. How's it going? Painful. It looks very painful.
Currently, you have been sharing top secret knowledge that the fairies do not want us to access.
never understand why OBS and the internet want to just be the way that they are.
They're arch nemesis. Long
Like-
history.
Like, it's not difficult to just operate properly for once. Holy shit. Anyway.
To answer your question, Kid, you know, she's very, very smart. She seems to plan things out before you guys decide to randomly do things.
Odile Part 2?
Yeah, I feel like this
But
is gonna
she's
be
also, yeah, I know, right? She's also kind of quiet. She observes more than she talks.
Odile
I
Part
also
2.
have a, I also have a voice for her to do the voices and stuff.
Really?
Though again, I don't know how long we've been traveling together, so I don't know if you know something else.
Yeah, no, that is the question. How long have we been traveling together?
Yeah, we should figure this out.
Yes, we should, so that I can tell you whether or not you know something else.
I'm picturing
I
not
will-
like
I
super
will.
normal one.
I will just say it. Hi, Will.
Where? I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
there's no reason to apologize. I'm just listening.
We can do like a D4 or something to see if, or like, 1 can be counted in days, 2 is in weeks, 3 in months, 4 in years.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Too.
Good idea. Yes.
And then like do like a D10 to see how many of that.
Yeah, 6 or 10.
Hold on.
Maybe
I
an
just gotta
8.
grab a D4. There we go. So
Maybe
That's a
actually
2.
less than a 10. So weeks.
that's a 2. So that's weeks. So yeah, we'll do a D10 for
Sure.
weeks.
That
The
works.
real
Yes.
question is, how long have you two been in the Feywild?
Oh boy.
How
Hours
long
to
have you
days?
all been in the Feywild?
Or no one knows.
We've known each other for 7 weeks. So evens or odds?
Evens.
Odds. Evens. Yes, evens.
Okay. Evens means weeks, odds means days. Evens, so that means weeks. So it has to be less than 7 weeks. So I'll just roll a d6. We have been in the Feywild for 5 weeks.
And Saturday is
Or
growing.
however
So, what was an Eladrin doing in the material plane, I wonder? Also, did you decide on which type of Eladrin?
No, I'm still working on that, and I'm like trying to push everything over. So
Well,
I'm working on it, and we're sorry to all the viewers. We're making this chaotic today.
well.
started planning this whole thing out like 3 hours ago.
Mhm. Well, keep in mind that each of the Eladrin have different physical properties about them that make it much more obvious about what season they are affected by. And of course, it does explain that each of them have different effects that go with them. So, seeing as how you all have been in the Feywild for a little while now, I would like you all to roll D100s again.
Again? I do.
This one is
It's
for
gonna be a D100.
previous stuff that's happened.
Oh, I just lost his D100.
52.
It's okay, I'm fine.
43.
34.
So we got... It was...
Was even in order. Descending order.
So in total it was what? Or not total. It was 3 different numbers were what?
52.
Mm-hmm.
43.
34.
And 34. So 52, 43, 34?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Three, 34. Interesting. So, in the few weeks that you have been here, your group has, together, not only experienced the Feywild in the most chaotic way that it has shown itself, but you all have had a few experiences that have kind of gotten you acquainted with the idea of what the Feywild is. In your travels, experiencing the Feywild as you can and as you will, just to mention a few of the short experiences that your group has found themselves in. When you first arrived, of course, it was a terrifying experience looking around and finding yourselves in a place that was far different than where you were previously. Not only was it much more vibrant, it was much more overbearing almost. The magical pressure in the area that you all had arrived was immense. You could almost taste the magic on your tongue. Of course, Alira, being an Eladrin, knew immediately where you all had found yourselves. Alira was back home, or at least the home of her people. Jack and Kip learned very quickly that magic can take a nearly physical form. After getting yourselves acquainted with the fact that you were no longer home, and the fact that when you stepped through the portal that you had found initially on the material plane, it collapsed in on itself, locking you all here on this plane of existence, with no other direction to go but forward. Though most of the experience of the Feywild itself is very magical in the sense of the fauna and the... or not the fauna, the flora and the strange environments that you can find yourselves in. The group had managed to learn of a few situations that you can find yourself in here in the Feywild. A simple one at first, as the group had stumbled upon a knight. This knight was seemingly searching for something, and with his back to the group, it was difficult to tell what, until he stood up. Without a head, this knight in shining armor was searching and searching and searching the ground around a small pond that you all had stumbled across, trying to find the piece he was missing. His head. After a quick search, and a little help from the head yelling, "Over here," you've managed to find him in between two rocks on the pond's edge. The headless knight, now reunited with his other part, parted ways with the group after a friendly goodbye, and the group went ahead about their way once again. However, not all experiences of the Feywild are as mediocre or simple, as about a week and a half later, into their few weeks within the Feywild, they found themselves smelling smoke in the air. God damn it, come on. Every time they found themselves feeling the sensation of smoke hitting their nose, as the smell was overwhelming for a moment. Looking around, trying to find the source, up ahead, they see a giant wolf running between the trees, circling around a few. However, this wolf in the distance, it's difficult to make out the size at first, as at this distance it looks large, but then again, it's far away, or maybe it's not. And then it starts getting closer. You notice that this giant wolf is made of ash and flame. And you notice that it's not alone, as it seems to be followed by a large pack of smaller wolves that match. However, they appear to be chasing some sort of prey that doesn't become visible until the group gets closer. Your group, as curious as they are, and mostly trying to stay out of the way, see a specter of large size. But you are forced to quickly get out of the way and run as the wolves chase this spectral prey through the trees past your group, leaving nothing but a wake of fire. And with the fire encroaching, the group finds themselves running through the forest trying to get away. Narrowly avoiding a scuffle with these wolves of flame. Now, it is interesting to say that a few places of the Feywild do almost mirror the material plane as the group continues their journey after smaller interactions with the Feywild, and unbeknownst to them, they found themselves resting at a mining settlement that they had found. However, this mining settlement, unlike those of the material plane, was not set up at the base of a mountain. The group had learned that they were resting in a settlement that was set inside the corpse of a beyond gargantuan elemental. You could feel the magic resonating off of the corpse as the city continued their mining operation in this once living gemstone. Multiple levels of glittering gemstone had been carved into spectacular, if grisly, cathedrals and vaults, and many could see a few elemental spirits flittering about the corpse as well, avoiding the settlement, save for the occasional prank. But, for the most part, the settlement continued its work. All of these experiences within the last few weeks had brought this group a little closer, as well as giving them a more general understanding of the fact that no matter what, they cannot expect anything of the Feywild, because whatever expectations they may have will always be blown out of the water with no less than 10 pounds of dynamite. So, this merry walk through these giant trees was actually quite a refreshing break from the strangeness that is the Feywild. But not for long. The party finds themselves moving forward, chit-chatting and speaking, or not, as they see fit. However, I would like perception checks.
"13."
13. You're muted, Odile.
I'm not Odile.
Mm-hmm.
No, I just got a nat 20.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's 26 total.
Nice. And Jack?
I'm so sorry, what?
Perk check.
Oh, I'm so sorry, what?
Perk check.
Why can I not understand you? I'm so sorry.
Perception.
Perception.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry. Oh boy. I get a 3.
Fair enough.
23, 13, and 26.
Okay, well, Alira and Kip are the first to notice it. In the distance, the group finds themselves, of course, in between these massive trees that are already a spectacle in themselves. Within one of the bases of these trees, the group spots a staircase made of wood that leads up the side of one of the bases in the distance, leading up to a door with a small window in the center of it that leads into the tree itself. However, next to the tree is a garden. This garden, full of leafy greens and colorful fruits and other veggies, question mark, is seemingly being assailed. Where the group would most normally see spirits or some kind of spectral creature, or even just simple fey wildlife, if the group continues forward through the trees, and getting closer to passing this strange home within the tree, within this fenced-in garden is a woodchuck, gnawing on some of the veggies that are planted within this fenced-in garden.
I would like to pet it.
You would like to try and go up and pet the woodchuck?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I
As
see
she's
you doing
petting
that,
the
and I
woodchuck.
just don't usually
Oh.
do that.
Oh. Are we petting the woodchuck? Are we listening to her?
I'm gonna try to pet the woodchuck.
I would like an animal handling check from Kip.
This should be interesting. Let's see. Oh, that's
If she
a 10.
tries to pet the woodchuck, I want to sneak around and grab some of the veggies and stuff from the garden.
Okay.
That's great. They will make it on.
I would like a sleight of hand check from you. Now, what did you get on the animal handling?
A 10.
A 10?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And Jack got
A 23.
a 23. Okay.
Yeah.
Kip, walking up to the fence to get as close to the woodchuck as one can. Your group slowly stepping forward, or at least those that are trying to get closer stepping forward. Notice as the woodchuck, like most creatures, suddenly stands and looks to the group, or those getting closer. Still kind of gnawing on the veggies, but watching carefully. Kip, you reach out slowly, palm up, trying to draw this creature in. And for the other two, you notice this woodchuck is not getting any closer at all. There is no want from this creature to get closer or try and run. However, Kip, you feel so certain that this creature was leaning forward towards your hand, ever so slowly you almost couldn't see, but you swear it was getting closer. And Jack, go on ahead and roll a d6.
Oh boy. A 4.
A 4. Okay.
Mhm.
You managed to get 4 assorted veggies and fruits. 2 strangely colored, what look to be peaches, but they're not peaches. They're strangely like blue and purple mixed together hues. And then 2 just almost looks like lettuce and a carrot, but they're a little off somehow, and you can't really put your finger on it. However, you are able to get away with it relatively quickly.
Mhm.
As all of a sudden, the door swings open. And you look to the top of the stairs that lead up to that strange door in the side of this tree. As a figure steps out. This cloaked figure steps out with what looks to be furs made into almost like a vest. And from the waist down, you can see nothing but fur that leads to hooves. A set of antlers grow from either side of their head. And you're not entirely sure if it's a headband or something else, until they lean over the railing of their little stairs that lead into the tree. And you notice that it's actually sprouting from their forehead on either side. In between the antlers are strings, and on these strings are small bits of what look to be different herbs drying, as if they are their own little drying rack. But this strange figure steps out, angry, and you watch as their red hair, poofy, red curly hair that comes out down to their shoulders, with freckles that just span the entirety of their face and their arms, with what look like claws that come from their fingertips. One finger points down at the woodchuck and the group that had stepped forward. You all, get away from my garden! And you! She points at the woodchuck. You. A satyr. But not like any other satyr that you all have experienced, if at all. This strange figure looks immensely upset.
I'm gonna try to grab a woodchuck. And then get out of the garden with the woodchuck.
Okay. Athletics or acrobatics against its athletics or acrobatics.
Athletics.
And because it is technically a tiny creature,
With the Wells Fargo Active Cash credit card,
21.
earn 15% cashback on purchases you want. Like
You got a huh?
21.
And you said athletics?
Uh-huh.
Well, you both matched. But sadly, the way grappling and other checks like that, the defender wins on matched. So the woodchuck, though you grab it and you get a hold of it for a moment, being such a small creature, it quickly wriggles out of your hands and starts to try and run into the forest.
I'm gonna chase it.
I would like a D10. No, not a D10. I would like a D100. From Alira. I would like a D100 for Kip.
Six.
6 for that.
Mind you, Alira's just standing back and just watching patiently.
As Kip drops it, I'm gonna try to help her, so I'll grab it.
We may or may not all be still playing our same characters, just in slightly different skins. Whoops.
It was unintentional.
Yeah. Sorry, was I also rolling a D100?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I got a 67.
Okay, so we got a 6, a 67. And since you're helping, Jack, I need a D100 from you as well.
Lovely. $48.
Said 48?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Alira, you were the one that rolled the 6, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So, As the three begin their running off, the woodchuck in the lead as the other two try and chase it, Alira watches as a spectacle of what the Feywild is well known for begins. This satyr narrows their eyes and immediately points at the woodchuck as a spring of magic bolts from their fingertip, the tip of their claw glowing before this bolt of magic slings forward in between the two chasing it. And the two chasing it feel what a somewhat familiar feeling, as they've probably had this happen in the past, of what wood feels like against their noses, as suddenly the woodchuck becomes a wooden barrel, and they slam face first into it.
Oh man, that was dinner.
And you two. She then points two fingers as two more bolts of magic sling forward. Jack, you rolled a 48, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yup.
You said that you're relatively emo, correct?
Oh yeah, emo kid. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
edgy little boy.
Ah, maximum. Jack begins to faintly glow a pink hue.
Huh? 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 Where's that coming from? Uh,
I think it's coming from you. What is that?
And Kip,
What?
you look at Jack as they begin to glow. However, you notice Jack's getting taller all of a sudden. So is the wooden barrel. So are the trees. They're not getting taller. You're getting shorter.
Hang on, this is not fair. I'm already below average.
As you start to sink down a much smaller height. You lose 2 feet of height.
I am 1 foot tall.
oh no. Yeah, well, I guess that isn't much different than before. I'm glowing pink.
I'm
Hey, you! What'd you do to me?
I'm the height of your shoe. What do you do? Glowing pink is not the biggest concern right now.
Well, it certainly wouldn't be your issue, would it, Shorty?
Hey, too soon.
The satyr begins making their way down the steps.
Can
The
I try to climb on top of the barrel?
Sure. Go on ahead and, you know what, just for funsies, roll in athletics or acrobatics, whichever you prefer.
Athletics is way easier. Nice. Oh gosh. That's a 10. Yep, that's a 10.
You manage to slowly make your way up the barrel. It's kind of difficult, as barrels are normally made to be kind of smooth on the outside, save for the metal rings that, you know, hold the wood together.
That
So
was a lot of grappling hook.
Yeah, it's a little interesting. But after getting on top of the barrel, the satyr has reached the bottom of the steps, and she still looks immensely upset as she looks to her garden the ruined and torn apart small plot of land it was, and looks to the group, putting her hands on her hips. Do you all want to tell me what happened?
Trying to get the woodchuck off your land.
That woodchuck has been a nuisance for the last 2 springs. 2.
Yeah, I was trying to help you. What did it look like we're doing?
Yeah.
Why are you in my garden?
Saw a woodchuck trying to ruin the garden. Thought we would help by getting rid of the woodchuck. We
Well,
were
up
just
with waiting.
passing by.
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious somebody lived here. You know, why not do the nice thing
11.
to do?
If it makes you feel better, you can roll at advantage because of Jack.
Oh, hey, that might work. Hopefully. Nope. Still 11.
And you all just expect me to believe that.
Why wouldn't you?
Who knows? Maybe you all released the woodchuck.
Where
on.
would I get a woodchuck?
It's not difficult to find them.
That's fair, but also what do we have against your garden?
I don't
Well,
know,
what
that's
do
why I'm asking you.
Well, the answer is we don't have anything against your garden. At worst, we're neutral. At best, we're trying to help. I don't
Yeah.
have anything against gardens in general.
Yeah, the only thing we would want from your garden is the vegetables. But does it look like we're grabbing your vegetables? I don't think so.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah?
I need a
What are you
deception
holding?
check.
How much mud is on your hands right now?
I got a 7.
A
I
7.
don't think you're helping.
Care to explain what that is poking out of your pack?
What pack? I don't have a pack. A pack of and he grabs like his side and like just shoves it down before grabbing at one of his rations, and it's a bag of nuts. A pack of nuts? They're very
Look at this.
nutritious, and he's gonna grab a handful and just toss it in his mouth. If I give you some, can you turn me back?
And we can take the woodchuck with us if that helps. Or the barrel. if you turn us back, I cannot carry a barrel like this.
I cannot revert my curses. That'd be too easy.
So you're saying we're stuck like this?
For the time that the curse is effective, yes.
And how long is that?
That entirely depends on the curse, and I have no idea how long it is personally. About a minute passes before all of a sudden the 1 foot tall halfling then falls to the ground as the wooden barrel shrinks back down and becomes a woodchuck that then sprints off.
Wait, do I land in it? / can I ride it?
You know what?
I feel like I'm about the right size, right? Maybe a little big, but like.
I need an athletics or acrobatics from you.
Let's go athletics. 22.
You grab on, and you find purchase between your fingers as the fur is a little easier to grab hold of at this size, and falling on top of it helped. There we go. Alira and Jack. You watch as Kip is whisked away at rather breakneck speeds for such a small being. And the witch just kind of watches.
Dude.
I want it dead.
Can I cast command on this creature and tell it to return?
It says to a creature. Alright.
Or if I do it quick enough to, like, stay. But
What
I'd say
is
return.
your save DC?
The save DC 14.
It rolled the 14, but because it's an animal and its wisdom is low, it actually loses that save.
So yeah, I'm casting return. Which probably has some loopholes to it.
Jack and Alira watch as Kip shouts out a command word, which Kip can roleplay as they wish.
Return!
And the small 1 foot rider of I've completely blanked on what this creature was.
A woodchuck.
Chuck.
Woodchuck, there it is. I kept trying to say
Woodchuck,
mongoose in my head.
I need to make art of this now.
This 1 foot tall woodchuck rider suddenly screeches to a halt in the grass, before the creature then turns around, and you can see the aura of magic that wraps around this creature. However, as you are in the Feywild and casting magic, I would like a D100 from you.
Oh no.
That's fair. That's fair.
I forgot that's a thing.
66.
I
Luckily,
chose.
we all made
Oh,
semi-casters.
oh boy.
You said a what?
66.
Huh. I'm going to give you the option. You can choose up to 3 creatures that you can see.
Am I included in this? Kind of out of curiosity.
Up to 3 creatures of your choice.
Okay. We're gonna go it's the woodchuck, Jack, and the satyr.
The satyr,
Yep. Should be interesting.
the woodchuck, Jack, and the satyr.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Okay. That's 10. That's 1. The woodchuck first. So that's 10 to the woodchuck. 1 to Jack. And 6 to the satyr. Oh, wait, hold on. So it's 10, 1, that's 11.
Are they going to sleep?
10 and 6. So that's 11 plus 16 for 27. Okay. As the woodchuck turns around and Kip begins their return, clouds begin to form overhead and rumble. Before moments later, Kip is thrown from the woodchuck as the woodchuck, Jack, and the satyr are struck by lightning.
What?
All 3 take 27 lightning damage. The woodchuck is fried.
At least we don't have to cook it.
We may have to fight a satyr though.
Our
Maybe in
fault,
the
it's fine.
background.
It was an accident, I swear. I still do not understand how this place works.
I've told you many times. I don't think so.
Are you okay, Jack?
Toasty. Toasty.
Toaster strudel.
Alira, heads or tails? The satyr looks to the group, and for a moment, there's another rumble, as if the cloud above that is beginning to disperse as the magic is disappearing. It's almost a moment that the group feels as though the cloud will stay longer, until the satyr looks over and sees the woodchuck, or at least what remains of the ash. And takes a deep breath. Well, that's taken care of.
That's true. Sorry about the way that happened, but that is true. You're welcome.
You may keep what you have taken. I thank you for getting rid of the nuisance.
You're welcome. And thank you.
As a showing of gratitude for getting rid of the rat, I will not cause any more curses to you.
That's very kind of you.
Do be careful eating what you have taken. Be sure to cook them thoroughly first.
I'll definitely do that. Jack, you hear that?
What?
Does lightning count as thoroughly cooked?
Well, Jack looks a little charred.
I mean for the vegetables, but yeah. Also, what's gonna happen if we don't thoroughly cook?
I have no idea.
Oh, just like you have no idea when I'm actually gonna like regain my height again. That's good. Good to know.
Wild magic is one hell of a thing.
I noticed. Should we be on our way, or should we wait until this
Please
whatever
leave
it
my
is?
garden.
Yeah. We'll do that.
Good riddance. Bye-bye. Shoo. And you watch as the satyr then swirls almost with a and reappears at the door, slamming it behind her. And the small set of wind chimes, the small wind chimes that hang from the overhang above the door, jingle.
Okay, you're back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but that went better than I expected, given where we were about halfway through. But we should probably keep going.
If you take my advice
Probably
next
a good
time.
idea.
What was your advice again?
Leave the shop.
We got some free vegetables out of it.
And as
Do
we
you
start to
know
walk
how to
away,
cook it?
In a pan over some heat.
Mm. It's another thing I must teach you. That you will not listen. There are just laws.
Continues on their way. Also, I will be back in just a moment.
oh boy.
You're very bright. Cute.
Yeah.
Don't
As
worry.
we make our way back
It'll wear off.
It better. It's so icky.
So I think the pink suits you well.
What are you talking about? It's like a bad rash on me. Ugh.
It's a hot pink too.
Exactly.
We're lucky we're in the Fate. And we're not in the what is it called? Oh my god. The material
Material.
plane.
Why?
I can't imagine anybody seeing me like this. Let alone you.
What do I have to do with any of this? I warned you guys against it. You did not take my advice. This is your consequence. What do I have anything to do with this? And how you look?
He's just gonna walk away. Like kind of like very attitude. And as he walks away, he walks past the garden and grabs a couple more carrots.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Are you eating carrots? That's quite funny that you think that.
That's perfect. That's really good.
Or
Perfect.
to the next level.
so you all are continuing forward.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your small group continues forward. Their journey into the Feywild continuing. The forest continues. These massive trees surrounding the group. Spirits floating in between each of the trees, easily seen as they make their way. Sweet smells of flowers as flower beds are seen creeping up a few of the bases and others are left barren and green. This beautiful place makes it almost difficult to forget sometimes that the magic within this space is insanely strong. The Feywild itself, this overwhelming pressure that's almost always there just because of how much magic is in the air and the thickness that is breathing it. However, there are a few breaks. The ease of being able to breathe again as magic seems to dissipate in some places and get thicker at others. Ah. The group finds that the effects upon them slowly peter out as time goes on. Hours pass and Kip returns to their normal, already short height.
Thank goodness, I could not afford to lose those 2 feet.
However, Jack remains a hot pink hue glow. You travel for most of the day, simply taking in the sights that is this expansive forest, until the group finally reaches what looks to be a small clearing with a lake in the middle. A few animals across the lake can be seen drinking what look like deer made of wood. Another animal off to another side of the lake can be seen swimming around in the water. What looks like some kind of bear, but covered in flowers, before stepping out of the water and meandering into the woods in the tree line. It seems this lake itself is a rather central space for some of the life here. A number of insects fly about the air, as where there is water, there is insects. But the lake is in the way.
Can I do a perception check?
Sure.
Thank you.
Do remember that none of you need my permission to speak. You can ask questions or ask to make certain rolls if you'd like. Or you can begin conversation amongst yourselves of what you see or hear. It's completely up to you. Don't be scared.
I see.
I don't bite.
We're right
Oh.
next to the lake, right?
Well, you've reached the tree line where the clearing begins, and it's only about 15 feet to the shore of this lake. In some spaces, you can see where there's sand build up, and in other places, it's just where the grass meets the water. Or there's a small little like plateau cliffside area where it's like maybe a foot or two above the water's edge, or the water surface on what edge.
Rating. Jack is going to but make it towards the edge of the water and take one of the carrots and just rinse it off. And takes his knife and like kind of like skins it, sort of, you know, of the roots on the bottom and stuff, and he's gonna take a bite of it.
You gotta cook it first.
It's a carrot.
I get it.
What's the worst that's gonna happen? Turn me pink? Guess what?
I feel like turning it pink is probably on the easier side of things that it can do to you here.
I would like another D100.
Well, let's start with just the one bite. See where that takes you, not go further.
I got a 15 for perception,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm guessing I failed a little bit because I got distracted by Jack.
If you'd like to get distracted by Jack, then the 15 can be null.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Jack, I'd like a D100, please.
82.
82.
You know, this carrot tastes like a carrot.
Well, let's see if
So
it acts
funny
like
enough,
a carrot.
when you take a bite of the carrot, it does taste like a carrot at first until the aftertaste is almost like blueberries.
Huh.
However, you do feel magic envelop you for a moment. Nothing happens, but magic envelops you and kind of sits there for a moment, and you feel it, and then it just kind of dissipates.
He's gonna look at Kip. Ma, I think this is the best carrot I've ever had. And he's just gonna continue
How-
on eating his carrot because it's really good.
And now for
How
the
you
fun part.
feeling?
With the 15 and getting distracted by Jack, as well as any that actually look to Jack after Jack has looked into the water and has been distracted by his carrot, you all look down into the water and realize the reflections aren't the same. You see, in the water, you notice that the reflections look withered. Jack looks older. He's not a kid. He's a young adult, a grown adult. You notice that in the distance, due to the angle that you're looking towards Jack in the water, the trees on the other side of the lake, the reflection shows them larger, a few less lively, more withered, older. You look and you can see the reflection of these wooden deer across the lake. Their reflections looking rotted, like driftwood left out. Jack can see the reflection of this carrot, and it looks rotten, old, moldy. It doesn't seem to affect anything, but the reflections look older.
Huh.
Is this showing us our future?
Keep away from the water.
I take it we probably shouldn't drink from it.
Might not be the best idea.
So funny enough, Jack
You do
did
as you
just
will.
Jack did just eat the carrot that he washed in the water. However, nothing happened until he took a bite of the carrot.
Boy. Oh no. Relish, and how good that carrot is, Jack. Relish.
You might want to stop your son from eating that carrot.
Is it the water messing with it, or is it the carrot itself? And also, what's...
Or it could be both.
That's fair.
So, is your son alive?
Yeah, perhaps we should listen to the person who's from here.
Yes, I
Especially when
guess
it
so.
starts doing odd things.
I mean, it's water. But I guess I'll listen. And he starts walking away from the water.
Static without it being noticeable. It holds a lot of things. Water can make you very sick without you knowing it, even in normal places.
Is
Hmm.
again? Is that why you heat it up first?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now you're getting it.
I just thought you liked warm water.
Who likes
It's a
warm
little
water?
weird.
Unless it's in coffee or tea. Plain? Eh.
Mm.
Oh, you're very
Here,
strange.
before we go, he's gonna wash the other one too, real quick. Not touching the water, just kind of like wiggling the carrot in the water.
If the water's problematic, why are you putting more of it on the food for later?
We'll just no other water around.
We might find more water later. Also, it
But
might
that
be better
water's weird
not.
too.
It might be better not washed if this is what we're washing it in.
What if we cook it this time?
I think we should at least cook it this time. But I'm still not sure what it does
Got all
without.
this too. All right, I guess.
To be fair, it doesn't look like it made much of a difference to you, but might have just got lucky.
Probably. Anyways, how are we gonna get around this? I don't think we could swim across it if you don't want to touch it.
I prefer not. Let's start walking around it.
How big is this lake?
I mean, it's noticeably it wouldn't take long to get around it, but it would take longer than just going straight or anything like that.
I think we have too much potential for rust and ruining packs to swim through it, even if it was normal water.
True.
Those with
Is it
equipment.
still raining?
So funny. No, it's no longer raining, as the cloud that struck the group, or the few that were chosen, dissipated shortly after. But Kip, you said you're in armor and a greatsword, right? Great
axe and armor, yeah.
Okay. Stepping close enough to, if you can see your own reflection, you'll notice that your armor looks weathered, like it looks rusted.
Mm.
At least
That
in the
ain't right.
reflection.
I take good care of this armor.
The Great Axe also looks rusted and weathered and chipped and cracked.
I sure hope this isn't
Basically,
our future.
and what's funny is, as a halfling, you have a pretty long lifespan. However, you look older.
Hmm.
Like you with more gray hair.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't feel any different. Anyone that gets close enough to see their reflection in the water realizes they just look like an older version of them. And anything that they're carrying looks older, more worn, weathered, rusted, old, rotted. Whatever is reflected in the water's surface appears older.
I mean, if we're really thinking about it, like, if it was dangerous, it didn't rot my carrot or anything like that. So, is it really that bad?
I wonder if is it showing like the actual future, or is it just showing us as older?
It's just showing older versions of you.
What do you think, Depresso?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you.
If anyone's to press out, it's you, Pinky.
Are there any stones nearby?
You are on a lake's edge. There are a few pebbles, a few small rocks.
Let's see. He picks up a stone. He picks up like 3 stones in his hands. And, where is this? Gonna throw it at Alira. I've got a 12 to hit.
A 12?
Mhm.
You're kidding me. You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
I have a 12.
Meat to beat. Sadly, it's meat to beat. Because if it isn't, then y'all would have to hit higher than the armor class of anything I throw at you for you to hit it.
You get 6 points damage from my rock.
Do you think maybe we can?
And I
rock towards
ferociously
the
poke
lake?
at you.
Conk. You feel a rock hit you.
High velocity rock.
It stings. Like a lot.
That was unkind, Pinky.
Jack,
Well,
what have I told you about hitting companions?
what's a 14 do?
What? Did you just throw another one at me?
Yep.
How? Earlier?
Well, that hits.
Am I within 10 feet of you?
You take.
You're in
take
10 feet
that.
of Jack, at least.
If I'm within 10 feet of you, I can take the damage instead of you. And I will, because I'm trying to reprimand Jack from taking damage for you. Or giving you damage.
That was 7 damage. I'm sorry.
I suggest you stop now. Or do you want to get her yourself?
What you gonna do?
Jack,
Depresso.
Laura
calm
just
down,
gets
you
this
two.
like devious look in her eyes.
She started it.
How did she start it?
She called me Pinky.
You are pink.
But that's a rude assumption.
It's not an assumption, it's a fact. Remember, there's a difference.
Well, it's a rude fact.
Yeah, but it's not her fault.
Well, she didn't need to point it out.
Maybe not, but it's not. It doesn't justify hurting her.
Let's not forget, you started it first. All we need to press.
He looks
How
at
about
you.
we all stop calling each other names and throwing rocks at each other? Am I the only adult here?
No, based off your earlier experience. Is it?
That was an accident.
Was it?
Yeah, and it solved the problem too.
No.
Can I give a
You go.
perception around us?
It got rid of the woodchuck and got us out of there alive.
If Jack would like to.
I got a 14.
Hmm?
Just as they're talking now, he drops his rock and looks around.
Well, I will say, though, the wildlife itself seems to leave you be. The water, when you drop your rock, when it ripples, you notice that it shows not only the, stagnant water showing different versions of aged objects, whether it be the trees around you or the wildlife or you. You notice that as it ripples, it also shows much older, much younger, present time, and different mixes of time as the water itself ripples outward. And that only continues until it stops rippling, and then it returns to the stagnant, aged visage that had been seen moments before the rippling began. As for anything around, it is rather still in the forest right now, for some reason.
How noticeable is the difference in the water? Like, would I have noticed it if I was distracted by these two talking?
It is pretty noticeable. I mean, glancing over, you can see that the view changes from aged to current to younger to older again to somewhere in between each of them.
I'm gonna throw another. See it again.
Hmm?
I want to throw another rock in.
Okay.
I thought we weren't throwing rocks.
We're not throwing rocks at our friends. There's a difference.
As it ripples, the effect happens again. You see different versions of both aged and younger. Your armor and weapons and other items looking worn and torn and used to brand new and shiny and clean, and you can see you yourselves, older, younger, in between, rotting. It's interesting.
See, that's what I looked like when I was your age.
Whoa. You're funny looking, weren't you?
I literally look the same.
Oops. I wasn't trying to be mean.
No, I mean, I look a little bit different, but
Well,
I
while
don't age
these,
as fast as humans, you know that.
while these two were skipping stones and talking about their youth, I rolled an investigation to see if I can notice a way around or through 22.
Well, you can go around, as it does seem to be relatively clear around the lake itself. There's not much wildlife around, save for the few animals and such that are using this water as a drinking spot, or like the bear earlier was swimming. There's not much going on around the lake itself. It's rather peaceful here. And you can actually see on one side, there's actually a very nice flower bed that kind of wraps around that edge and around that side of the lake and kind of sprawls into the forest itself. But for the most part, going around would be relatively simple.
Just to confirm, nothing happened to Pinky over here, right? Besides the taste of blueberries?
Nothing's changed yet.
Yeah, yet.
Yes.
There turns blue.
Should we keep moving?
Yes, we will keep moving. Since nothing has happened here, son. Perhaps some of the water. We might use it later. But that also depends. Some things take a while to take effect. But it doesn't hurt to take some water, just in case. Otherwise, we'll go around right over there.
We'll keep an eye on him, make sure he's alright.
You can keep an eye on him.
I do anyway.
He is your son.
That is.
Vera starts walking off without them.
Hey, where's she going?
We're following. We're
Oh,
going around the lake.
very well then.
So you all are going around the lake. Which
Mhm.
way are you going? Towards the flower beds or just around?
We're following Alira.
Yeah. Let's have some fun.
Towards the flower beds? Okay.
But if she notices they're in a circle, she's not walking through them.
Okay. As you make your way around the lake, towards the flower bed, I would like wisdom saves. As the beautiful scent wafts into your noses. These wonderful, wonderful flowers of beautiful colors. These wonderful, wonderful beings. Gorgeous, wonderful flowers that sprawl along the ground. It's impossible to not step on them as you walk, as they are literally just every inch of the ground on this side of the lake is just covered. Motherfucker. Is just covered in flowers. The sprawling colors and different hues are absolutely beautiful. Eye-catching, dazzling. And the smell is even better. This sweet smell that fills the air and tickles your nose. And it's calming. What did everybody get?
22.
22?
17.
A 17.
21.
21. Okay. You all notice this strange feeling as the smell wafts into your noses and tickles at a strange part of the back of your brain that almost makes you want to follow the scent. But you shake off this feeling. And you continue forward. You continue forward, passing over these beautiful flowers and continuing down the path you've chosen. Until you hear a snap behind you. A loud snap, followed by crunching. And you look back, and in the tree line, in between the trees, you can see where one of those deer made of wood that you'd seen previously is caught in what looks to be a massive Venus flytrap, almost, that had been a part of this flower bed deeper in the trees, but it's massive.
I'm so sorry. I need a second. I'm so sorry. I'll be right back. You continue playing.
This
Should we do?
massive Venus flytrap has closed, and you can see the roots and dirt that it was settled in, where the two sides of the outer shell of this Venus flytrap was in the dirt itself, in between the trees, and almost unnoticeable entirely.
What could have been them?
Yes, we keep an eye out for those.
Sure.
Hmm?
Sure.
Are those
Player
ours?
said. Player said. Feed me, Seymour.
But thankfully, you all didn't get caught by the smell, and you find yourselves continuing forward into the trees once again, following the path that you had originally chosen, heading into the woods to find your way deeper into the Feywild. A few more hours. A few more hours of travel continue as you travel through this expansive forest, finally seeing what looks to be the edge of the trees in the distance. And in between them, you can see the sun that's seemingly beginning to set. However, as you reach the edge of the tree line, you notice before you now is a massive field of tall grass. Only about waist height for, well, chest height for Kip. But it's tall enough for the other two to wade through. It's tall, and it's almost like a meadow. It's a very pretty tan color that just flows over this entire span. It almost looks endless. You look out and you can't see the other side of this. However, you do notice that as you crest through the tree line and you get atop a hill, you do notice on the other side of this seemingly endless expanse, there is what looks to be an end of this field. And you notice on the other side what look to be strange gemstones that jut out of the ground. Almost like large flowers, but you can see where the light is refracting through them. And beyond that, there seems to be some kind of wall. And you noticed this wall seems to be a small city. A place of respite.
Were y'all in there?
Well, of course. You two can barely make it a day out here.
We have made it this far. With your expert guidance.
Yes. Though you don't always take my advice.
No, but we're still around here somehow.
Just keep a low profile in the city.
I will do my best, considering I may not fit in very well.
Well, I was more talking about Pinky over here. But then again, they're pink right now. Might fit in more.
Guess we'll see how that goes.
Yes. We will see. Continues forward.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You go into the field, and you follow the path that you had seen that would lead you towards this strange city. However, as you go down the hill, and you go into the meadow, and you continue forward through the meadow, you walk, and you walk. And you did know that it was a rather expansive place, but you continue walking. And you continue walking through this tall grass. And you continue walking. And minutes turn to hours. Hours start to draw on longer and longer. and it
Yes.
feels like you've been walking for a while now. However, at the same time, you look over, and the sun hasn't moved. Yet, when you look around, now it literally looks like there is no end to this meadow. And you're not entirely sure which way is which now. You were certain you were going straight, but somehow you're in the middle of the meadow, and the direction you were going wasn't as far as what you've been walking.
Should we try changing directions? Will that do any good? Don't seem to be making much progress.
Want to be home.
So we're stuck here.
No.
What's happening? I'm so sorry.
Stuck in the middle of the meadow.
We're in the middle of a meadow?
Uh-huh. Meadow.
Okay.
Meadow.
So what exactly do we do?
With the McDonald's app, you can get your favorite thing delivered to your door.
I have to roll to see if he's been through something like this before.
Mm.
You could do a D100.
Okay. Let's see. Pretty.
Nothing like this.
Fabulous.
You know, some places are strange, as the Feywild is magical enough to, cause problems. But you've never been in a space like this.
To be honest, I'm not sure. Not had to deal with something like that in the Feywild.
Well, it seems to me that what we're doing isn't working. So should we try to change it up, or should we keep on doing what we're doing? See if it eventually exhausts itself.
What I 100% suggest is we don't split up.
I'm good with that. There's a first for everything.
Pinky, since you're so good at throwing rocks, why don't you go ahead and throw a rock into the middle of this field?
Are there any rocks around?
Make a perception check, or an investigation, whichever you prefer.
Can I look for a rock?
Do
Sure.
an investigation. I've got a 24.
Okay. And, if Kip is helping, you can get advantage on it as well.
Yep,
Mhm.
24 still.
Alrighty.
Mhm.
Looking around, you do manage to find a few small rocks. It's a little difficult trying to look around on the ground with this tall grass as thick as it is. And in all honesty, it's pretty difficult to walk through as well. But for the most part, it takes a few minutes, but you are able to find a rock.
Alrighty, well then I'm gonna throw it into the middle of the meadow.
Alright. You throw the rock. It soars. and it thunks onto the ground as it rolls into the dirt. And you can see some of the grass shift as the rock lands and slowly stops.
Okay.
Should we try to follow the rock and see if that like actually takes us somewhere different?
I guess if it didn't really do anything, then I guess we should find it.
Yeah,
Probably
see if
not
it is
that
worth the risk.
dangerous. What do you think, Depress?
Are we sure we want to start this again? Because
She
the
called me
answer is
one
no.
weekend.
I was funny times. I tried to come up with stuff. But now, I think we might have a case of silver.
What if I try to stab the ground and see what happens?
You
How
stab.
likely is it that it would? No.
Oh no, this isn't moving grass if you stab the grass.
What?
Nothing. Do what you wish. You will anyway.
Alright, I'm gonna stab the ground.
You stab the ground. You really showed that dirt who's boss. You leave a hole, or at least a slit where your axe head had sunk in.
Can chop down some of the grass and then we can start walking and see if we can actually move away from the chopped down grass.
You chop down a little bit of the grass, making a small circle clearing. And you begin
Find
walking.
the rock.
You walking? Or are you finding rocks? What are we doing?
Finding the rock that I threw.
Okay.
As she stabs the ground to go find the rock that I threw.
Okay. So. You begin following the rock. And Alira and Kip watch as Jack wanders towards the direction that he threw the rock. He seems to stay within eyeshot, and you can still see him. And after the small clearing is made within the grass, I assume you two follow along?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You follow along, and you look back, and the small portion of grass that you had cut down is now gone.
Pretty sure that's not how that's supposed to work. If I look around, like, does it reappear elsewhere, or is it just gone?
Make a perception check.
Team.
19?
13.
13. Looking around, it's a little difficult to make out a small area of no grass in a space that is just covered in grass, especially for someone who can barely see over it.
There. Does anyone else see the grass that we just cut off?
Lyra turns and looks. "22.
You look around, and you look around and you try to pay as close attention to the differences as possible. And you notice off in the distance, from a direction you hadn't walked from at all, off in the distance there is a small clearing where it looks like it has been cut down.
Where is that?
And it is so far that it is almost unreasonable, because you all had taken maybe 15, 20 steps forward, and it's like off to your right and slightly behind, and off in the distance like a solid 2 to 3 minute walk.
What if we try running backwards, since that seems to be the opposite of all the things that are happening?
Do you wish to run backwards?
We could try.
Be my guest. I'd love to watch
Or at
this.
least, walk backwards. I don't know what
Okay.
kind of magic happens around here. We can try different things and see if any of them get us unstuck,
You can walk backwards. I'll just follow and watch.
Fair enough, but what if it takes all of us?
I don't think so.
Well, what kind of ideas do you have?
Have I been muted this whole time? Oh no.
Possibly.
Is the other than the patch of grass, do the other sites around it seem familiar?
As an idea, do you know those scenes in like movies or paintings where it's that golden like hay meadow where the breeze blows and it kind of makes like that ripple effect?
Yeah.
You're standing in the middle of that.
Oh, okay, okay.
And it all
see.
looks the same.
Okay. I meant like in the in the fork, like trees around.
Do we still see any
Yeah,
other
just that.
landmarks in the distance?
Mm-mm. You look
Okay.
around and all you see is golden grass.
Hey Ma, I got a bad idea.
Okay.
Gonna start taking my dagger and cutting away as much of the foliage around us that we can. Like a couple feet of it.
Okay.
And once we are in like a patch of like a couple I take my time and like cut like at least 5 feet. 5 to 10 feet patches of grass, like, and I throw the excess grass into the grass around us,
Mm-hmm.
and then and then get a cast fireball.
What was that?
I'm gonna cast fireball.
Okay.
This should be interesting.
What are you doing?
I would like a D100 from you.
$58. But I cast it low enough that it shoots across the field all through because it can go 150 feet.
Well, you watch as it goes the full 150 feet and then explodes. And you take 13 psychic damage as magic pulses back. But you do watch as it explodes and a good portion of the field catches fire. And it burns. And it continues to burn.
What's your plan here?
Well, now we know if it's weird or not. Now there's a path.
Oh, and you expect us to burn through that path?
I mean, it works.
Move. Lyra stands in front of the group and casts Control Flames.
Okay.
Yeah, I could do that too.
Ignores.
I'm just gonna watch.
Fully
that.
concentrated.
And
I'm
because
curious
you're
how it's
casting a
going.
spell as well, I need a D100 from you.
Cantrip, yes.
Oh, Control Flames is a cantrip?
Yeah, it's a cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
Then never mind.
Cool.
So what are you doing?
Oh, I'm just controlling the flames to be like staying like on sides so we have a safe way to walk.
Okay.
Criticize my decisions and then use my idea. Ugh.
This is how we all work together as a team to get out of here.
He has them completely blocked out.
You
I guess
continue
it was
this
helpful.
process going forward. And you find yourselves finally at an edge. And you find yourselves in front of a bunch of what look like crystals that are about the size of Kip, with small prods going out as well. It's almost like bouquets of flowers, but with gemstones and prismatic crystals. And as you turn around to look at the field that you had just come from, you notice that there are no burns. There are no spaces that you would cut down. There's nothing. Just an open field. And in the distance you see trees that reach towards the skies.
Let's not do that again.
Unless it's necessary.
If it's necessary, tell me your plan.
Well, I said I had a bad idea. You guys are the ones that didn't ask about it.
You were the one that didn't say what the plan was.
I mean, once again, it did work. Whether or not it worked in a good way is a different matter, but it did work.
I'm an
You're
innovative
right.
thinker.
You are right. Alera then turns and starts patting Jack's head. Good job, Pinky. Good job.
He kind of looks at you with confusion, with his eyebrows furrowed. Like, thank you. Oh. I will do better. I promise.
No promise. And Lara just keeps going. Is Jack still pink? Okay, good. Because that'd be weird if she was still calling him Pinky.
Oh boy.
You're not sure how much time has actually passed, but you're certain a number of hours have.
That's fair.
How long is this gonna be for? Oh no.
You begin making your way through these crystals, and you can hear the crunch underfoot of where the ground below you is a solid crystal as well. Fragile, but crystalline. And you could see warped reflections in the ground. You could see warped reflections in it when you look down. And every now and then you'll take a step, and some of the crystal will crack. But it doesn't break, doesn't shatter, it doesn't do anything like that. It just seems to crack. And there are a number of these cracks. Old, new, somewhere in between. Kind of scattered all over the place. There are a few crystals, these bouquets of crystals, kind of... A few of them are a little broken, a little shattered. Some are missing pieces. Others have more than others. But overall, this place is very beautiful. It's reflective. It's shiny. However, you notice that the sun still has not changed its position. It's as if it's constantly in this state of sunset. And you can see on the other side of this field of crystal, the city walls are getting bigger as you get closer. as you get closer to this city, you notice that at the gates of this city, in the distance, you can see two large figures made of stone and crystal on either side of the gate. The gates themselves, where normally in the material they would have metal frames and iron bars to separate the outside of the city from the inside, this is crystal. And it's still beautiful. However, you get closer and closer. And there's a loud crack underfoot as one large crack seems to go from your group out into this crystalline field off to the side. And for a moment there's that anxiety of everything's about to break underfoot. But a few moments pass. A few more moments. Nothing. You reach the city gates. And without a word, these elemental stone golems turn and each grab with one of their stone hands either side of the gate and lift it themselves to allow you entrance. Allowing this group respite once again from the magic that is the Feywild, as today's journey and their freedom allows them rest until the next time they decide to journey in the Feywild. So, with that, thank you to those who came out to watch this interesting play on the usual D&D sessions. And thank you to our wonderful players that made such interesting characters for this little offshoot series. I do hope that all of you enjoyed, and I do hope all of you find the Feywild just a little more interesting. But I do hope that you will follow the Will-O-Wisps, because you never know what stories they may have to tell. So, until the next time you follow them, we'll be here, keeping the campfire roaring for you, so that you have somewhere to sit and listen the next time you wander into the Will-O-Wisp woods. Have a wonderful evening, everybody.